Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheyenne. I am the owner and face behind Soulful Soothe. Apologies for it taking so long for me to do another video. Last time I tried to record a video, honestly, was in early February, around the time that Mercury was in retrograde. And of course, it just didn't appear to be in the cards for the message that I recorded at that time to be released then. So instead of fighting it and resisting it, I just took a breather and said, let me use this as an opportunity to take a break and focus on other things. Since then, the shop has now opened.
Amazing!
So you can go to my website, soulfulsoothe.com, and get all of your smoke cleansing needs, everything from eucalyptus, rosemary, blue sage, dragon's blood, and cedar bundles, as well as abalone shells so that you aren't dropping ashes in your space as you're cleaning. I also have some educational materials and some other things, but let's get into today's reading. So I did a poll on my stories on Instagram asking what kind of reading y'all wanted, and the majority of people voted for a money reading, and I'm actually not surprised. So I've been channeling some messages these last couple of weeks, honestly. And I kind of want to say they're random, but they're not really random. So as I am recording this video, we are entering the United States Pluto return. It actually peaked on 2/22/22. So let's get into like what that means, because I'm sure you've heard other readers, spiritual folk talk about that on many different platforms. So what is Pluto and why does it matter to us? Pluto is a planet on the outer rings of our galaxy. That means that instead of having more of an intimate focus on one individual person at a time, it has more of a broader impact on masses of people, countries, large organizations, conglomerates. You get the deal. So the last time Pluto was where it was on 2/22, it is now 2/27. The last time this happened was 246 years ago on July 4th, 1776. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, if you are in the US, if you're American, to know that is when the Declaration of Independence was signed. Why is this important? Because a literal country was birthed on that day. And irregardless of your politics, that's a big fucking deal. So Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. It also rules the sign, the astrological sign of Scorpio. And if you've ever been graced with the presence of a Scorpio, you know that they have this like underlying mystery to them. They have a tendency to be here one day and gone the next. It feels a little chaotic, a little shaky. But at the end of the day, your encounter with them changes your life for the better, as with everything that happens, right? So what this means is that we can expect major transformations. And because the US is such a dominant power in this global economy and global politics, we can definitely expect other countries and other peoples to be affected. This will not just impact the US. I don't want to say too much about that. You can take that as you will, because I, one, don't want to be censored, and two, don't want to scare anybody. That's never my intention. My intention is to educate, inspire, uplift, inform people so that they can make informed decisions for themselves. That being said, I am going to read you straight from a couple sources where I've been doing my own personal research. This is the only astrology book you'll ever need by Joanna Martine Woolfolk. This is available in the shop. I use this whenever I am researching my own birth chart or looking up things for loved ones. It's a really good resource to just tap into the cosmos and learn so much about, you know, our cosmic makeup. A lot of people think astrology is just like bullshit horoscopes that you get in like smutty magazines or whatever, but it's so much more than that. And this book does a really good job of going in depth about all the different aspects of astrology. So let's get into some of the key points that I've noted from my research in this book on Pluto. The first thing that came, that like popped up to me as super significant, she says, if you have ever experienced one of those blinding moments in which you suddenly see your life in an entirely new light and decide to change everything, you have felt the energy of Pluto. Pluto's action brings to light things hidden in the depths of your subconscious, releases your dormant forces, and causes your suppressed energies to erupt suddenly. So, like I said, we can definitely expect more massive change. And within these last 5 days, there have been literal rumors of war on the other side of the country. But as I just said, you know, this transformation that's about to happen, it's not going to be just affecting the US because of the US's very influential position in global politics. She goes on to say, Pluto's immense power is felt in world events and in the great tides of history. It influences masses of humanity, enormous groups of people, and large organizations. Even in the most civilized personality, Pluto's force is felt as an undercurrent of turbulence and uncontrolled energy. Now, this kind of speaks to why some people are a little hesitant and have some trepidation with this astrological event, because Pluto, yes, can be known for those like positive tower moments, like I just read about how, like, if you've ever felt like a sudden like forced to just like up and change everything and just completely transform your life, that is the energy of Pluto. But on the flip side of that, because remember the universal law of polarity, there's two sides to every coin. And because there's two sides to every coin, what that means is that they seem like they're opposites, but they're not. They have the same motive, they just go in opposite directions to achieve that motive. I hope that analogy made sense. But so because Pluto has this like reputation for massive change and transformation, death and rebirth, there's this seductive pull, and it can easily switch to negativity. So let's get into some more of the historical events that have happened and we've seen like the negative impact of Pluto. Each of the 3 modern planets has foreshadowed coming events of the era during which it was discovered. In the case of Pluto, the planet was discovered exactly 3 months after the great stock market crash set off a worldwide economic depression. The decade that followed saw the rise of gangsterism and criminal mobs that were a law unto themselves. During this decade, Adolf Hitler began his demonic rise, which ended by plunging the entire world into war. During the latter years of the 20th century, while Pluto transitioned Scorpio, the sign of sexuality, death, and rebirth, we witnessed the rise of the AIDS virus and genetic engineering. Okay, I'm not gonna read more because there's plenty more where that came from. That's intense as fuck. I hope you completely understand where I was coming from. I will be dropping my links in the description bar below because that's not the only source that I used. I do want to mention, in light of this death and rebirth energy, the couple months leading up to this, I have noticed in the lives of, you know, associates, friends, etc., there has been just like crazy events leading to death. I had a friend who her cousin was murdered by an ex-boyfriend. I had another friend who their cousin committed suicide. Those are just 2 examples of, you know, the very tragic things that are going on. And so I've been working with the Santa Muerte candle because I've been feeling this sense and this pull to lean into that energy. So it's not just about literal death, it's also about how things are just massively changing in our lives as a collective, but also as individuals. And I personally prefer to release things gently. And being on that Pisces Virgo axis, I dislike abrupt changes. Like, my Venus is in Aries, so I can definitely be erratic or impulsive or indecisive, but I really like to ease my way into things. And when I work with this saint, I notice that the transition is much lighter, it's much smoother. So I've got that candle right here, and if you have anything that you want to release with ease, I invite you to just tap into the energy of this candle with 3 breaths as I do the sound bowl and prayer before we get into today's reading. Holy Spirit, Father God, ancestors, I thank you for allowing us to have this time of communion together. Thank you for allowing us to have this time of community and revelry together. Thank you for the community that we have here with so much love in our hearts, so much clarity in our minds, and gratitude on our lips. We say thank you, we love you, and we honor you. Amen. Okay, so I am going to start with the Dollar Bills deck. This is also available in the shop. The shop will be linked below. I adore this deck. This deck is it's just a vibe. It's a vibe all on its own. So this is what the top card of the deck looks like. And because these cards are so big, and they're like gold gilded on the sides, I don't like to, it's just difficult to try to shuffle. My hands are small. I'm a small person. So I am just going to spread them out and just intuitively pick from where I am led. Okay, so the way that this deck was created, there are 3 categories of cards. There's the money gems, practices, and affirmations. Today we have 1 practice and 2 money gems. What this tells me right off the bat, before even looking at what those messages are, is that there's some action that's needed in your money life. So what that means is it's not really a matter of you praying for more money or praying for your debt to be deleted. It's more about you creating a plan and acting on that plan. So let's look at the cards. Practice. Spend your money with gratitude. Rather than resenting the reason for spending, Practice gratitude for having the funds to spend. The second card we have is a money gem, which says, it's okay to miss money, but imagine how it would feel if money missed you. Do things to attract and seduce money. Like attracts like. Make money want to be around you. Money gem number 2. What if money did grow on trees? Remember that all trees have seasons and your money works the same. Which season are you currently in as it relates to your finances? Are you investing and planting seeds, or is this the time to collect the harvest? Know your season and nurture the energy accordingly. Okay, so what this tells me is, like I said, just getting the sense that like it's not about you making a petition, making your request known to God. It's not really about you asking for more. It's about you being diligent with the few that you may have. So, okay, that just rolled off my tongue, which, okay, I'm channeling and trying to process at the same time. It's hard. Okay, but basically it's someone here is feeling like, in the sense, in the vein of lack. They're feeling like, I don't really have enough to make ends meet, or really wanting to have more money. How does this relate to the Pluto return? On a large scale, we're going to be seeing lots of people changing jobs or just changing the way that they make money. I'm also getting the sense that people are going to be making career switches. So like going from, okay, take me for a personal example. My degree is in communications. My first like job outside of college was in public relations. I now work in global finance. That's a completely different sector of the world, right? So there's this sense of like changing the way that you make money, changing the way that you call in money, but also how you manage it, how you interact with money, how you go about transacting with things. Are you constantly thinking about like, oh, I don't have enough? Or are you constantly being like, damn, I got another bill to pay? Like this card says, spend your money with gratitude. Practice gratitude for having the funds to spend. So you may not feel like you have the ability to make all of your ends meet. And it definitely takes some maneuvering and some, agility in trying to allocate those funds responsibly, but it's possible. It can be done. If you, like me, grew up in a single parent household, or you just didn't have people teaching you about money, there are so many resources. Right now, we're in the age of Aquarius. This means that there's a plethora of knowledge literally at our fingertips, because most of us are always on our phones. So there's always going to be someone out there who can show you the way. Now, I do want to say, word of caution, it's definitely important to know where you're getting your information from and that they're a viable source. So you have to do your research and make sure that you are not trying to sign up for get rich quick schemes or things that will take advantage of you, like multi-level marketing. And that's a whole other video. And yes, I'm very anti-MLM, used to be in 3. So I have a lot of experience. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's bad shit. Don't do it. So let's just get some cards from tarot. I am using the Modern Witch tarot deck. If you've watched any of my videos before, this is a familiar deck for you. But I just want to get one card clarifying each of the money gems, or the money cards that we got out. And then I do have the Angel Answers deck here. It's a newer deck with me. I'm not sure if I'll use it or not, but I might. We'll see. Excuse me. I also have my own deck, the Soulful Soothe Soothed Chakras deck, also available in the shop. Link will be down below. The deck is finally here in Nashville in my hands. And so we are out of the season of pre-ordering and now into just the season of ordering. What is this on the bottom of the deck? Knight of Cups. Oop, I'm gonna take that because my eyes were immediately drawn to it. One more card, please, Spirit. I really like the energy of this reading. I feel like something massive is coming, but I don't feel scared. I just feel the sense of needing to prepare. And so if you're in a similar energy or you're feeling the same, do not tap into the frequency of fear. And what do I mean by that? Don't do things out of this like sense of lack. Do things out of a sense of wanting to be prepared. So what does that look like? That looks like if you, okay, for example, the trucker situation in Canada right now. Some folks up there are having hard times getting fresh produce because, you know, the roads are blocked, literally. So if you are intuitively feeling nudges of like, okay, I need to stock up on food, go do that. Don't do it out of fear. Just do it out of needing to literally be prepared, because anything could literally pop off at any moment. As a matter of fact, I just saw 222 on the camera as I said that. The opposite of fear is love. And we have the Knight of Cups here. One of the most beautiful cards in this deck, I think. What this tells me is you need to focus on the frequency of love in your money life. What does that mean? Not spending out of fear, but spending out of a love for yourself and those around you. So let's say your mom asks you for some money or whatever. You know, don't give her the money thinking like, oh damn, like, you know, she's not gonna be able to have money for rent or whatever the case may be. When you give her that money, think about it as this is an act of love. This is an act of service that I am privileged enough to do for my mother. Not a personal story that just popped in my mind, so that could be a message for someone watching. Under the practice card, the card that was talking about having gratitude for having the funds to spend, we have the 7 of Cups in reverse. So to me, intuitively, what this feels like is having to make a decision, but not really feeling the cloudiness that is usually associated with the 7 of Cups. You see, there's like all these clouds behind all of these choices, and in each of the cups, there's like a different choice. So with this upright, this tells me like you've already thought about it. You're not really emotionally attached to the situation anymore. It's more so a matter of you just getting off your ass and going to do it. So for the second card, saying like it's okay to miss money, but how would it feel if money missed you? So at the end of that card, it says make money want to be around you. And this is powerful as fuck because we have the King of Wands here. The King of Wands is about action and execution. What have I been saying this whole reading? It's time to get up off your ass and go do the plan that you have already set out to do. It's like, I'm getting the sense of someone who's like thought about it and thought about it and thought about it, but like not really taking those steps. The King of Wands here wants you to tap into his energy, which says, okay, I've already thought this out and I'm not really moving from an emotional standpoint, but I'm also not moving from an overly logical standpoint. This is where my passion lies. This is what I'm intuitively feeling called to do, and I'm going to do it with a quickness. I don't find it odd that today, this is the first time I've recorded with a prayer candle. And this is the element of fire, which rules the suit of wands in tarot. Moving on to the next card. What if money did grow on trees? Are you investing or planting seeds? So it's talking about knowing the season that you are in your life. Are you investing and planting seeds, or are you harvesting? What does this mean? This means, is this the time to cut back on spending because you don't have as much anymore coming in and you're wanting to nestle and save for a rainy day? which also could mean like you're not able to live as abundantly and lavishly as you used to or you would like to? Or is this the time where you're seeing the fruits of your labor and you have the ability to do those things comfortably? As the confirmation, we have the Page of Wands in reverse. So that's the second Wands card. What this tells me, being underneath this card, talking about the seasons of your finances, what this says to me is that you need to harness in that unbridled energy. So that energy of like wanting to go and do the things, possibly frivolous spending. So just spending vicariously, not really thinking about how you're going to pay for those, you know, expenses. What that tells me also, with this being a page card, pages represent children and like immature mindsets. So don't shoot the messenger. I'm just the messenger. What this tells me is that you may be doing some self-sabotaging things when it comes to money. So you may say like you want to be debt-free, but you somehow just keep accumulating more debt from stupid shit. Okay, I'm not feeling called to work with the angel answers today. I want to just tie this up very, like with a nice little bow. Like I said, this is my deck, the Soothe Chakras deck. It is an oracle deck associated with the 7 main chakras, and on each of these cards, they are colored according to the chakra that they're associated with, and there is an accompanying affirmation that you can use on a daily basis or whenever you feel the need to tap into the energy of that chakra, that energy center for healing. Okay, I'm not going to show you anymore. I'm going to take that. I cultivate vulnerability with my partner or partners. I cultivate vulnerability with my partner or partners. Okay, so this is associated with the sacral chakra, which again is more fire energy. It's creation. It's like how you create, how you make the things that you have, how you make your money. With this being with the Knight of Cups here, what this tells me is that there is some sort of like ancillary, tangential, like love situation associated with your money somehow, and it requires you to be vulnerable with your partner. So perhaps talking about money more with your partner. I also just noticed that we have like opposite ends of the spectrum. We have the King of Wands and the Page of Wands. This is not a divine counterpart sort of situation. I'm not saying that in a bad way. What I'm saying is that I'm picking up on like one person may be older than the other person, and they're trying to like get the younger person to see how to be more frugal or more mindful with their money. And this doesn't necessarily have to be like literal age. It could also just be like somebody who has better money skills, better money management. Y'all could be the same age, but like the other person just has like a better grasp of how to handle money in general. That person could be you. Take it however it resonates. But yeah, so I think that wraps up this message perfectly. Like I said, I don't feel scared. Of course, my heart is breaking for those in Ukraine. I'm not gonna get into that because that's a mess. My heart is breaking for those in Ukraine, and my prayers are being sent to them. I'm sending them good energy as I can from here, because in times like this you really feel helpless, because it's like, literally, what can I do? I'm all the way on the other side of the world. But if you're feeling like me, just continue to send them peace, love, and light. Continue to pray fervently, as we should be praying at all times. light a candle. If you don't have a Santa Muerte candle, you can just get any white candle. White candles are the best go-to when it comes to any intention, because the color white represents purity, and so it's malleable. You can change it to whatever intention that you want it to be, as opposed to working with like specific colors. And of course, like black candles are used mainly for protection and like hexing bad things away from you. So with that being said, I didn't plan on this reading being this long, but it is what it is. I'm a Virgo rising, and it's ruled by Mercury, so I'm a little verbose or wordy at times. But until next time, sending you all my love, and you know where to find me on IG at Soulful Soothe. All the things that you need are in the shop, and if you don't see what you need, send me a message and we'll see how we can get it to you. All right, love you. Ciao.